2022. Yesterday there was a lot of twos. So that was the 22nd
People got really excited about that.
of February. Yeah, there was like 1-0, and everyone else was like, yeah.
I was
But
I checked Facebook yesterday. It was like to this and to that and to this. Like, I think we need cooler things to be excited about, people.
yeah, well, we had a you and I had a little bit of a chat after, and we're gonna do things a little bit differently for round two across the board. But one of the things that we decided to do was maybe change up some of our show ideas and bring on some new faces and some new topics. And so I thought, what better way to start that out than with bad gifter, but we wanted to talk about some other stuff regarding BluDAC with Bullshipples, but unfortunately Bad Gifter couldn't make it today, so we'll have to postpone that. But we do have Bullshipples here, which is really exciting. And
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, probably
Up early. I mean,
you guys. Yeah,
Freaking
freaking
early.
West Coast. He's like, this is some dedication right here. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, Bullshipples is one of my favorite people on earth. And man, I haven't thought about this in a minute. Like instantaneous, like it's too early in the morning for Waterworks. In this the pretty challenging time that the uplift has gone through, and we're like light at the end of the tunnel time in a huge way, right? Like we're the outcome seems pretty certain and pretty freaking fantastic compared to what was possible. And at the worst of that, Bullshipples was the person counseling me to have grace and forgiveness. We'll never forget that. And he's a fucking amazing crypto mind and cool ass person. Anyway, so I'm excited to have you on. Yeah, we were gonna have Bag After on this morning. Bullshit was gonna come on. We were gonna talk about some BluDAC stuff. I asked Bullshipples if he would come work with me on BluDAC because he's been frankly the only person who thinks about it as much as I do, and maybe a little more, frankly, and has a clear vision for how it basically is meant to connect communities together. That's kind of always been sort of the underlying point, right? Yeah, it's liquidity and DeFi and yippity doo dah. That's fun, but the community part of it is, I think, the special sauce that we really want to enjoy and play with and use to kind of enhance the community. Anyway, Bullshipples, good morning. Sorry for the rant. I mean, I'm not. Everyone knows that. But.
Well, good morning, Core. Man, yeah, you're right. You make crying on the internet. This is early for that for me. Well, thank you. Your words are very honoring. I've been thinking a lot about our journey together, and who would have thunk it, 2 or 3 years ago when we were messing around in crypto groups and trashing on all those other coins that weren't ours, and
Schmipple.
Right? Who would have thought that eventually we come to the point where what we're working towards every day is to connect everything and everyone and bring value to all the communities, rather than that tribalism. Who would have thought that we'd be to the point where, we're building that connective web that brings everybody together. And, I want to say thank you to you. I've come through some, tough times. We all go through that, whether it's seasonal affective disorder, whatever it is, it's better when the sun's out and it's not as fun when it's all dark. And, you've helped me through some tough months, and here we are. We just keep plugging and keep walking, and one step at a time. And so I want to say thank you, that you've been a leader for me as, I've jumped in to help you build and support however I can and help however I can. You've been the leader that I've needed to help me through tough times. So thank you.
All right, fine. That's enough of this. Just kidding. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. And Jimmy, I love you too. Just because, just so we're all on the same page.
Yeah, I'm totally okay to shine the light on Bullshipples because I mean he's lightworthy, and And if you don't know, he actually features every week with our good friend Jen on Jen's awesome show, which basically you guys dive into Shippletopia and all that's going on there. And so there's some really cool things. You've got like a following kind of on our channel that doesn't even involve us, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
The only unfortunate thing for me is I don't get to spend near enough time on camera with you. So I have to live vicariously through Corey on that. But that's fun. So I'm just excited to hear about like the updates and what's going on. And I don't know where to start. I guess we can start with some gratitudes.
Yep, I'm there.
So I did something weird today.
Go on.
I decided to open some packs that I had for Uplift, because I had a couple straggler packs that I hadn't
opened for Uplift.
Yeah, well, I had a rail pack that I hadn't opened yet in Genesis.
Okay.
And I never actually got around to opening my estate sale pack.
Oh wow.
Now I did buy an estate. I bought a just a random land. And I actually was in disbelief, and I actually had to go over to the plot and try to break shit on it because I thought that the blockchain was lying to me.
Okay.
I ended up getting a 250 by 250.
What? In gratitude?
Right. In gratitude, so you could get 50 by 50s. You could get like any land size for those random packs.
Yeah, I didn't know we included any of those. But
I didn't know that either. I'm grateful.
Awesome.
I'm grateful.
So you can build a city.
You're right. I'm grateful for surprise pack openings. Now it is all water, but there's a cool pirate ship there, so I'll take it.
Mythic pole.
Yeah, right. It was good. It was a really good. It was a really good poll. So I suggest, if you haven't done it already, go and open some random packs, because you might not, have forgotten about buying them, but you might end up with some pretty cool neighbors or some interesting pieces of land in interesting areas. That's my thing. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm a little jealous, Jimmy. I don't have any 250 by 250s, and I kind of want one now.
Yeah, neither do I. I mean, I think they only went out to community, so I'm like, what the hell are we going to do with that? We're going to have to figure out a good incentive to use it for.
That's freaking awesome.
It's gotta be something for sure.
Right.
Cowie freaking Moda. I'm doing another one. You know what we got to do, Jimmy? We got to start having Cowie on the show.
Yes, we do.
Just so that we can hang out, because I don't remember the last time I hung out with Cowie, and that's not okay.
I mean, we could do it tomorrow.
All right, Cowie, if you're in, rock and roll.
And we can even do it. Yeah, we can do it tomorrow if you're free.
All right, I got two. Bullshipples.
Yeah, Cowie, he was the one who made me actually go and look to see if I had packs or not, because he opened a 100 and 100 from that gratitude land sale. So
yeah, that's baller. Yeehaw.
I'm thankful for belief, Corey. And that's what'll fit on the sign, but I'll tell you what I mean. I'm thankful that it's not the strength of my belief that matters. It's the strength of what I believe in. And I'm thankful that what we're building is real. Back to February a year ago, when I told you, this whole NFT thing, I just don't get it.
Many times,
right?
Like at least 3 times, you ghosted me on NFTs.
Yeah. So thank you for dragging me kicking and screaming into this world, into this metaverse.
I knew you needed to be here. Little did I know. I should have expected actually that you would dominate as well as you have, but I did not see that coming.
Well, I mean, I might be kind of an all-in poker player, so when I see something that's worth going all in on, I got that one move. But it's not the strength of the belief, right? Because the belief comes and goes, and emotions go up and down, and the market goes up and the market goes down. And we all think we're a lot smarter when the market's going up, and when the market's going down, there's all that second guessing and the doubt that tries to come in, and fear, and that's what dominates the markets. And then the people who can process through that and make wise decisions anyway are the ones that win. Those are the ones that end up in profits on the way up and on the way down.
Yep.
But I'm thankful for belief, because it's not the strength of my belief. It's not the strength of my faith. It's not, how much I think something's going to happen. It's the validity and the soundness and the reality of what is, regardless of what I think about it. And what I realized, I think it was March. By March I was all in with you last year. What I realized was that my erroneous opinion was irrelevant. It didn't really matter whether I thought NFTs were something or they weren't. They were what they were, right? Mm-hmm. And so me coming on board finally benefited me. It didn't affect the NFTs a whole lot other than what I've been able to contribute. But this wave that we're a part of, and at this point it's just grab the surfboard and hold on tight because it's going crazy, right? But this wave crests and surges whether we're here or not. And we can either join and participate and benefit, or we can watch it go. And I'm thankful that you've dragged me on the journey with you, and we get to surf this friggin' wave because it's a good time.
Yeah, it's. I think you're totally right about all that stuff. It's funny. I was on a little meditation retreat this weekend, and something came up along those lines, right? Like there's many possible futures, but this is the one that we're in, and surrendering to that just gives you basically fucking superpowers, because the amount of time that we spend, personally, that I spend worrying about stuff and running scenarios and patterns, and I have a very unquiet mind. Sometimes that's really useful, and other times it's just noise, right? Because they're all the what ifs in the world are sometimes taking us away from focusing on what we can actually do, right? Which brings back to what you were talking about as far as the space that we're in, and we can build some things and we can benefit, but there's a lot of projects out there that are tripling down on tribalism. They're tripling down on FOMO. They're tripling down on the parts of crypto that can be fun but aren't really producing anything of value, in my opinion, right? Whereas we're looking at the tribalism and trying to figure out how to be connectors. We're looking at the FOMO and trying to figure out how to create economic systems that will last for decades, not for 6 months. And that's to me a real privilege to be part of it, right? And yeah, we're in business where the goal is to benefit, right? The goal is for everyone to benefit, and that's how we benefit. That's kind of sort of been the architecting, sort of the guiding light for how we do business in this space. And it's cool to find more and more people that are like that. And honestly, you're one of my favorite examples of that. So that's fun, man. Waxing a little philosophical this morning. I should have seen that coming too, actually.
So it happens when you get me up early.
I mean, this is now a common occurrence, hopefully. Did I tell you guys I quit drinking coffee?
Dude, what the crap, man? That's crazy.
Yeah, it sucks. The headaches are shocking. And that today is day 6, and they're not that bad right now. But yeah, so I drink decaf chai tea now.
Why did
chai tea.
Why did you have to ruin half of my branding?
What's that? You want to do coffee stuff?
No. Corey's if you don't know, some of Corey's earlier shows were coffee in the morning, coffee on the dot, hashtag coffee.
Yeah, I've never been that good at naming things.
So yeah. What's the deal with the coffee? I'm kind of curious myself.
So I had to stop drinking coffee before going up to this meditation retreat for reasons. And in that process, Michelle's been asking me to cut back for a long time. My blood pressure's been kind of creeping up, and I drink an absolutely stupid amount of coffee. And it's the kind of coffee that you can stick your spoon in and it stands straight up. like Starbucks is like not enough, right? Like it's been pretty epic, and I'm a huge fan. But going through, this weekend, out at this place called the Great Spirit Farm, like out in the woods in a tent, really quiet, a lot of time to meditate and reflect. And I just didn't drink any coffee while I was there. I figured, okay, well, day 2, like I'm kind of feeling all right, so like I just won't do it today. And day 3 rolls around, I'm still out there, and like usually the headaches are like super terrible by now, and it's kind of not bad, really relaxing out there. I think that was sort of part of the reason. Then day 4 coming back, I'm like, why don't I just kind of go for it? And day 4 the headaches were horrendous, and day 5 the headaches were horrendous, and this is day 6, and I'm doing all right. So yeah, I was given the opportunity to do it, so I just did it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
You're a braver man than I, man. I don't know if I could do the no coffee thing.
I mean, this coming from a guy like after one of these meditation retreats is when I quit drinking for a year. You quit drinking for all the years, so of course you could.
I mean, I have quit a few things, and life is definitely better now. But I still gotta have my coffee, yo.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, coffee is like on balance for so long. Coffee was only value add. Right? It's not like anyone's super addicted to caffeine, and that's what makes them a dick. It's usually the opposite. So like, yeah, no,
funny.
coffee has been very, very good to me. Nick, not a coffee sabbatical. I think I'm done. Because I get like coming off this, the headaches are so bad that just made me super freaking angry, and I'm not doing this anymore. Because like if I have to do it, like that's instantaneous. Just ask Bullshipples to make a declarative statement. The first thing I'm gonna do is find the holes in that declarative statement every single time, right? Like absolute thinking, and like that's what's going on in my head all the time. So like I'm having headaches. Like caffeine is doing this to me. Usually on balance, very, very good, but the fact that it actually had that much control over my physiology just made me mad. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna sit down and not do this. I'm a bit of a mule, tad stubborn.
A little bit. Well, and that personality quirk right there, it took me a while to figure that out, because we'd have talks, Corey, and I get to the end of it and be like, gosh, why does Corey hate me? Because everything I say, he's just like, and then like as soon as you figure out that your brain just wants to tear everything apart that's not perfect to make sure that it can be or could be or better,
it's to test.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
I'm
fun.
so sorry that you ever felt that way. That's really sad.
No. Like as soon as I realize that's your superpower, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And then like our conversations from that point forward, I'm like, ooh, let's get his brain going.
Yeah, I mean that's really, and you've done that really, really well a bunch of times. And usually, yeah, because now you know that like absolute declarative statements will basically trigger me, and I'll find the opposite.
So good.
Anybody that wants the thing that always comes to mind whenever we start talking about this stuff, if you Google Tim Ferriss 17 questions, I go back to that every 3 months, probably at a minimum. And one of the things in there is, do the opposite, or like I think it's one of the could you do your 10-year plan in 6 months? Like just like questions that are designed to break your brain. But usually you'll end up, being able to come up with something that just, you couldn't see in the beginning, right? Anyway, yeah, decaf coffee. I mean, I'm drinking decaf chai tea, but it's like spicy chai tea. I had it over at the farm, and I decided this is my new jam. Put a little honey in it. What's up?
Dude, what's funny is we're drinking the same thing, except mine's better because it's caffeinated. But yeah, my wife had surgery, and so my mother-in-law came to live with us for a couple months because, the whole crutches and non-driving and immobile thing is no fun. So thank God for my mother-in-law. And she brought this like monster bag of chai. And, about a month in, I started stealing her chai. And so her parting gift to me when she left was, a couple huge bags of chai. And so that's become my go-to. And so I'm thankful that we have that commonality, that it's a chai tea day. But again, I win because mine's better because caffeine.
Yeah, it's got drugs in it. I get it. Yeah. Drugs. Some are good. Some are better.
You win. Good
Anyways, so what's happening? What's going on? What's the deal?
Well, we were talking a little bit about before the show, and I'm actually really curious about Pomelo and what you guys were talking about yesterday, because that has been high on our thought priority list with some of the projects I'm working on, because I love what we're seeing over there, and I would love to hear maybe a Cliff Notes. Because Shipple's a thing, and I'll give a quick little update. We're going to have the Shipple show here in a couple hours and give a fuller update. But we've partnered with 501c3.org, and they are an accounting firm that's helping us actually move forward with the paperwork on the Shipple charity, which has been named Shipple Gives. And we're actually moving forward in the paperwork process for that to be a public charity. And so what we discovered is that the paperwork to push through a 501c3, especially when you're crypto involved, takes longer than you want it to. But the good news is we've partnered with the right help. We actually interviewed a bunch of other nonprofits, a bunch of other charities that were structured the way that we wanted to. Actually, Rob Flaskus Scron helped connect us with a couple people that gave us some really good advice. Ended up pointed to this partner, the service. I'm super excited about it because, again, regardless of the desire or the belief or the intention, now that we finally have the right partner that can help set up the entity the way that it should be set up, and now that that's moving forward, regardless of how much we want it or how much we believe it, it's just happening. Like it's the reality of the entity is imminent, and so that step, being in place and getting to finally be like, okay, it's really getting real. This is insane. We're pretty excited about that because at that point where that entity and that white paper and that roadmap can be, posted and presented, and then the community involvement can come in and maybe DAO style voting. We've intended from the beginning to have community involvement in distribution and nominating charities and all of that we can then support. With that entity in place, that allows us to then go and have this correctly appropriate, flow of funds that come in and then go out. Blockchain is transparent, thankfully, and so that helps with a lot of the just the charity transparency stuff. But along with the blockchain transparency, having the actual legal entity, set up bulletproof, transparent, the way it's supposed to be, we're really excited to be getting to that point. And it's been, man, we've been working on it for 9 months now, right? It's a lot of work, but we're getting closer. But then I hear about Pomelo and what they're doing with funding, and Charlie's one of our favorite people over in the Shipple community, and so having some of his insight and input, and I don't want to say I'll say motivation to try to push us forward into what his vision is and what he'd like to see. Jimmy, you just briefly mentioned it before we got on, but I'd love to hear kind of a Cliff Notes of yesterday.
Well, I mean, I guess first thing is they're going into season 2 of Pomelo Grants, and Pomelo Grants gives out EOS to people based on a quadratic funding model that actually came from, I think, over on Ethereum. But what it is it's basically a matching engine. The more people that you have, funding you, even if it's just 1 or 2 EOS, the actual more matching money you'll get from the donors or the partners. So you could have one person come in and give you like 100 EOS, or you could have, 100 people come in and give you 1 EOS. You're going to get way more with that second scenario, right? The objective is to basically prove that you're some sort of public good.
Yeah, this was the key distinction for me, right? Because it's not like come up with a business idea and get funding, right? This is come up with something you're going to create that is a public good that anyone can use, and put that out there and let us know what that's going to cost, and then deploy that. Daniel was and he's awesome. I'm excited to have him back. Whenever he wants to come on. What he was bringing up is that you might get a little funding, make even an MVP, because I think like training people to think in terms of MVP is a huge sticking point for me. Just to test the theory, right? Because we never know, right? You have a great idea, you sort of are excited to see it percolate through the world. People might not engage with it the way that you think that they're going to engage with it, right? So he was talking about seeing the ability for projects to pivot or to learn, create an MVP, and then do another season and basically say, hey, this is what we did. We want to take it in this direction, right? And sort of treat it as an evolution. And that to me is just like it's so good. I'm kind of annoyed it didn't exist already, right? Like it's the kind of thing that sort of in retrospect seems really obvious and is really exciting.
Well, and on that note too, like I think what you guys are doing with the charity aspect is definitely public good, right? Like going through this process and trying to put charity on, and I guess it's more of a local level charity too, right? Like from what you guys are doing. So I think that's definitely justification enough to be a public good, in my humble opinion.
Well, thank you, Jimmy. Yeah, one of our mottos or catchphrases has been global local, right? Because our community is spread across the globe, and the vision is that people can nominate the need that they see outside their front door in their community, and then globally we can gather together as a community to support, the need in their outside their front door that they're looking at. We're working through the paperwork. Global local wasn't the favorite thing that they heard, and it made it a little more complicated. But the reality of it is, we're all connected, and this these fake lines these lines that get drawn on maps, and this place is this name this thing, and this place is this thing, and countries and states and that whole thing. I might be a little too libertarian for my own good, but the reality of it is, in the metaverse, we can draw the lines however we want, right? And we can erase the lines, and we can connect ourselves, and we can have portals into one another's worlds. And, those lines start to blur. And all of a sudden this, fake geographic line that, for centuries, two different tribes have, fought over which way that line should move. What if we just remove the line? And what if we're all just one tribe? Working together for common good. Does that make the world better? Gosh, I think so. And so, with this global local vision of, if we are all supporting the need that we see in each other's communities, and we're tied together with our heartstrings, and we care about one another, and we're helping one another, and we're supporting one another, that's the world that I want to live in, and that's the world I want to help create. And so, I get a little emotional about it, but if we can connect people rather than isolate and separate, and in that, we don't necessarily need to have the same opinions or the same perspectives or even the same beliefs, but if we can have shared vision and connect over that, I think that's powerful. And Corey, you said something that has resonated with me and is a strong core belief, life belief. In community there's power, and we have an amazing community. And it's not just one community, and it's not just separate communities. It's the connecting of the communities. It's the coming together where I believe that true power lies. Whew.
Mic drop. That's just this move, but still. Yeah, Sound Genie, will Bullshipples have a play in the DAO? I mean, if it's the Uplift DAO, he's a landowner, and all landowners will. So there's that. As far as BluDAC is concerned, here's hoping. I'm gonna keep winking at him until he says yes.
Well, and so this has been my response so far, and I'm super excited about BluDAC, to be real honest. And I came in from the beginning, and I did some math, and I ran a calculator, and then I think I spent the next when BluDAC first started, I spent the next 3 or 4 days not sleeping at all, because I was just so excited. And like spreadsheeting 16 hours a day, and
There's a lot of data. There's a lot of data,
dude. Well, in math, right? Like, I'm kind of a math nerd. I get really excited about math, and when I see opportunity and potential that's stupid good, like mind-blowingly insane, like it freaks me out a little. And I've had a couple of those moments with you, Corey. There was one. So you remember those dang Genesis miners back in maybe March or April, before you even opened the first uplift server, there was these Genesis miners, and they were selling for a stupid small amount of money, and they had insane benefit if you staked them on our planet. And I remember I was texting Corey at like 3 a.m, and I had been running my calculator for hours. I'm like, finally I just texted Corey. I'm like, Corey, is this real? Is this math real? Am I crazy? Is this math real? Because the opportunity was insane, and you could spend a little, and like the ROI was 7 days, and I was like, wait, that can't be real. Is it real? And it was. And so I
mean, I don't know if you could spot stuff necessarily like that now, but like back in the day, nobody knew. And that's when like the early Alien World stuff. I started realizing that the ROI on those was like 20 days or some stupid freaking thing. And so I just bought them all.
Yeah. Where does that exist anywhere else? Like if you can find a 7-day ROI, 20-day ROI, even 90-day ROI, like
100%, like the 4-month, even the 4-month ROI, right? Like everybody's out there buying real estate where the ROI, if you keep it, right, is like 30 years. He's like, this is better. And you can get in for like $10. It's just, that is a profound change in the way that the universe works. And we were sitting right at the very beginning of it, right? And we're only a year into it, right? Like that, over the next 5 years, it's still going to be figuring itself out. We're sitting in a completely ludicrously fantastic spot.
What came full circle, and I've had to fight some like FOMO hype, like time pressure feelings again, because our planet just released their staking again, and all of a sudden those Genesis miners are earning like crazy amounts of Aether again. And so like I'm voting with all my Aether to get Uplift World up the scoreboard on our planet, and like calculating every hour, because again I it's personally beneficial to me because I have a little bit in there. But all of a sudden, like it was dead, right, for months, and there was nothing happening, and there was all this FUD and whatever, and people are selling them for like tiny amounts of wax, and there was that moment a couple weeks ago where staking went live, and you could go out and buy something for a couple wax, and the ROI was 3 days. Like, in my mind is just exploding, right? And so there's these opportunities that come along where the ROI is insane. And again, I'm not giving financial advice. It's just, if you have a calculator, you can do pretty well for yourself. But these ROI moments happen that are insane. And all of a sudden, like, it's unbelievable. And it's unbelievable for a period of time, because anything that goes up like this,
it's good. Yeah, it's gonna balance out.
Like eventually, it has to balance out at some point. Right. And so with BluDAC, there was that. I mean, those first 3 days, I think it was like a 3 or 4 day ROI if you were in that first 3 or 4 days, depending on how you used it and what you did. And
I think the thing people need to understand with BluDAC is, again, we have only ever given Blue away, right? There are people that have done really, 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 really well overall, right? While the price of Blue went down like a lot, right? And it's because everybody was selling half of it to get into the pools and yada yada. The whole point is they're buying up the rest of the tokens all over the place, right? So on balance, if you were playing the game actively, you're doing well. So that's been interesting to watch. But obviously, I think things are basing now, which is kind of fun. Yeah. And I think now, like, I've been excited about this because it means we can actually get back to the whole point, right? Like, I've always said it was going to find its level. Went down further than I thought it was going to go down, right? And we had to learn some lessons and put some things into action, which we've done. And we've got a lot of more things that we're going to do. But anyway, sorry, Bullshipples, you were saying.
Well, any dynamic system, and the reason I wanted to use Aether as an example is, Aether is one of those famous examples of this, and then this, right? But thankfully, it didn't go like this forever. Some of us thought, oh man, is Aether going to go down forever? Like, could it go to zero? Yeah. And it flattened, and then I don't know if anyone else participated in the like 8x that happened here recently, but it was pretty good, not bad. But those opportunities happen again, and with BluDAC. Went like this, and I remember when we first launched, I'm like, Corey, the price is too high.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I can't move it down.
It really was. Like, we just put a little bit out there, right? We put a little bit out there, and really, the lesson that I got from that is like wherever the price is, and we don't have a time machine, we can't go back, but I think the right thing to do, because I had a game plan for the tokenomics, right? 30 billion supply, blah blah blah. We're going to use 10 billion for staking, 10 billion for NFT staking when we get that live, blah blah, right? I probably should have taken a 0 or 2 off the supply and just burned the rest, right? And then just adapted all of that so that we could actually have a trickle supply. Because you're exactly right. I mean, that like the ROI in the beginning was completely and totally bonkers. And of course, Blue and I hosted about $100,000 worth of liquidity at that level and got utterly destroyed.
So really, we should say thank you to Corey and Blue for giving the community huge amounts of their money. Because
about 90
if
grand.
you run your calculator, that's what happened.
That's exactly what happened, right?
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a non-trivial amount. You're welcome.
Yeah, well, right. So thank you. Right. Thank you for giving your money to everyone. But what
I mean, it's a lesson, right? And like,
oh, dude, we learned so much, right?
100%.
But like, you tried to launch it at a price, and people like 10x'd it immediately, right? And
yeah.
So all of a sudden, like, the way the tokenomics, like, it was blown, like, it got blown up.
Yeah.
And so, but thankfully, what we've been able to do in any dynamic system isn't dependent necessarily on the initial tokenomics set. It depends on community response. Like, how do people use it? What do people do with it? Because that's really what sets the rules. And then you just have to respond. It's like Axie Infinity, where they come in and, okay, you did this, we're going to nerf that. You did this, we're going to reset that.
Yeah.
Our
like
planet,
every season.
right? Aether goes like this, Aether goes like that. All right, let's nerf everything, and all of a sudden we 8x again. Like, there's that tokenomics response in a dynamic community that is what benefits the community. And it's not fun when I see my however much I had getting cut, a lot. But then all of a sudden on Aether, I get cut. But then I 8x my value. I'm like, oh, well, I mean, it's not bad then, right? So I'm thankful that we have that opportunity now with BluDAC. And man, I wish Bad Gifter was here. Hope you're feeling okay. I know that you had an unexpected challenge come up, but so shout out to Bad Gifter. But he has come in and reset the functionality of the website, helping move it toward the vision of what we wanted it to be. And without a genius brain, doing the zeros and ones, I'm not a zeros and ones guy. And so no matter how much I want something to happen, it takes the genius brains behind the scenes punching the buttons to make it all work. So thank you.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people recently were using the Rland, Rland Blue site, which is good. It's great. But today, for the first time, I actually went to BluDAC. I haven't been over there for a long time, and it's like, if you haven't been over there, if you've been using the Rland site for a long time, definitely go back over, because the interface looks great, and it's super simple, and it's almost a carbon copy, but a little bit varied from the Rland Blue. So you can do everything right on BluDAC.io right now today, which is really cool. Same thing, press one button and harvest all your rewards, all your tokens, and it looks great.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good, and there's a lot of there's a lot of cool things coming, and they'll take some time. I'm like, it's weird, and after this weekend, I've been so worried about so many things for so long, and I'm just like, we're sitting in an ocean of opportunity, and I don't have to hurry. Other things are going to happen. Tons of things are going to happen. Gazillions of things are going to happen. We do not have to hurry, because at the end of the day, we're going to be around 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now. And the cool thing, I think, Bullshipples and Jimmy, frankly, about like the way that we're doing this, there's this underlying vision of being a connector, of creating a metaverse that has gratitude in its heart. These things that are, if we never grew, if we never got bigger and just did enough to make a living, that would be great. And the net result of doing that, in my humble opinion, is that we'll probably end up growing very big. But it doesn't matter if we do or don't. And that getting distance from that, I think, just for me personally, is just going to make this so much more fun. Because then people can complain and people can have whatever, and like the strength of our vision, of our belief, Bullshipples, is going to be sufficient. That it's just like, yeah, everybody can think whatever they want to think, and we're just gonna be over here connecting tribes together and doing weird shit.
Well, in a preview, Bad Gifter and I have been talking behind the scenes, and I'm so thankful he's on the BluDAC team, and we're actually planning to move forward with his community. We've been talking about community bonus pools, and with the dynamics of the tokenomics that we've been evolving as we've moved forward here, we have brought the base pools, the primary pools, to the point where the tokenomics have leveled, and we're seeing that base develop. And then with the community bonus pools, additional inflation release, we want to be tied to engagement and tied to the services that BluDAC is providing to the communities. Because, Corey and Jimmy, I actually went back into some of those shows from August of last year where you were talking about vision and talking about what BluDAC could be. And I get excited, right? Because, that vision, that goal that we're still working toward is incredible. Like, the ability to bring in NFTs and blur the lines with NFTs and FTs and tokens, and have staking in, this blurred line of tokens and NFTs, and then rewards in that blurred line of NFTs. And all of a sudden there's this liquidity that just X3, right? Where, we've seen Kate do it with like Liftium and, the Yoshi Bucks, where you can begin to exchange NFTs for tokens and have incredible liquidity for NFTs that really doesn't exist at scale anywhere, right? Because you can create a liquidity pool for tokens. What if you have a liquidity pool for NFTs? And
you can.
One of the challenges is that sometimes people want to sell an NFT to get into another project, and there isn't liquidity, right? And so, if BluDAC, and again, now we're kind of brainstorming again, right? But going back to that original vision of having BluDAC create services around these NFTs and the tokens and liquidity pools, that opportunity is incredible. And so we've been, brainstorming behind the scenes and talking about how to move that forward with Bad Gifter and the Rland community. And there's some pretty cool things that we're headed toward. And so, hold on tight. Shit's getting real, right? So I'm excited to bring him in and have more of those conversations. And again, hope he feels better soon. But we're headed that direction.
And just like an asininely smart guy. Like, he's so smart. And I was just last time we were having conversation, I bought like way too many of those booster packs, and I haven't even started mining Bit yet. Because I think you still need to do that in the Discord. I totally need to do that. That was part of the reason why I wanted to have him on. 100% selfish. Like, teach me how to freaking mine your shit. God damn it. So I'll probably just go to the Discord and read, which is exactly what I would probably yell at everybody else to go do. What are you gonna do? Anyway,
I can help a little bit, maybe.
Okay.
So Corey, have you opened any of those packs? Do you have any of the NFTs in your wallet?
Yes.
If you, so those are now stakeable on our planet.
They weren't last time I checked. The booster ones?
It depends on what it is that you have. So not the bits or the OS, but like the shards, the NFTs themselves.
Yeah. So I bought a bunch of booster packs, the shards and stuff. Okay. Yeah, I actually got about 25,000 an hour off of the stuff.
Oh, nice! You have all those staked. Perfect.
Yeah. I got those done right after that. Yeah, because they're still. Is he still number one?
Yeah.
10 billion.
Well, I mean, so they may have had like 60 billion come in from their little sale that they did or whatever, right?
Wait a minute. 60? What? Are you serious?
Yeah. So remember that like drop Rland sale where they sold packs and NFTs
boosters? Yes.
For Ether. Like he ended up at like 60 billion. Yeah.
Holy freaking shitballs.
I mean, like Uplift did pretty good with the Uplift land thing, and that's still going on.
Back in the day.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, we probably between the rewards pool and the main account, like if we have 8 billion, that'd be pretty exciting.
Pretty good.
But I mean,
so that's sitting there, and it's designed and intended to support and help the community. And so, I mean, again, selfishly, I would love to see Uplift World higher than number 10. And I have an idea. Is it okay if I just throw a live idea at you guys? Okay. Because I've been thinking about this. Because because I try to, I feel like my job here in this space and the way that I can contribute is by listening. And so, I finger on the pulse of a lot of the channels, and I'm listening actively. And one of the things I hear, especially from some of our Uplift OG supporters who bought a bunch of those Genesis packs and supported initially, especially while the staking was off on our planet, because that was the primary benefit, of what we had partnered with our planet to do. And they have Uplift World listed as one of their 5 partners on their site. And, that was very intentional from the beginning. That was that Uplift was partnered with our planet to provide benefit to the community. But when the staking was off and there was no benefit from the miners, even though the initial ROI was 7 days and we all did pretty good, people start to FUD, right? And people are like, oh, I bought this thing and I support it, and even though I've gotten 10x my money, I still want more. And and that's hard to watch. It's hard to listen to, right? But if we actively listen to the community, they're telling us what they want. They want lasting, ongoing benefit. And then, like the tokenomics, we have to make sure that we're not just overinflating supply. And then all of a sudden what happens is our planet has created a pretty cool model where there's value for these things again, right? And so, and that tokenomics looks pretty good. And so, like, if we vote,
yeah, they're going to learn a lot. But that's the thing, right? Like that, as far as the company Aether, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't use the.
Well, here's the thing.
Like we're not done yet. I actually should have got the purchase agreement like yesterday, but we'll see kind of where that goes. It's gonna be a day or two or whatever. But like they're like, I talked to so many freaking lawyers. They're saying like if it happens in a month or two, it's gonna be really good. We're seriously talking about weeks. And so that's gonna be good. So we don't have full control yet. So we can't just like willy nilly do whatever we want yet. Although willy nilly doing whatever we want is coming soon. And then and that's the thing. Then we launch the DAO, and then there's no willy nilly doing whatever we want. We'll just willy nilly vote on whatever we want, and that'll be fun.
So you're saying that the benefit that you want to provide to the community, that you've been trying to for a while, you will soon be able to do what you want to do.
Right. I mean, this is really the thing that people should probably learn about me and my team and the people that are around me. We are fucking relentless. Like, you might not see something right now. You might not see something next week. Like if we're still here and breathing and working, something's going to happen. And honestly, it's exactly the same when Bonds told me, because I asked him, a month ago, like, what's going on with our planet? Like, are you guys still working towards? They're working on it every day. Done. And he starts talking more details, and I'm like, Bond, stop. I don't fucking care. Like, I know you guys. If you're still working on it, I know it's going to work. Like, that's it. That's literally all I need to know. If the team is still engaged in it, shit's going to happen. That's it.
Dude, I love Bonds. So we've been working on a secret project that I've been told I'm not allowed to talk about because I talked to
Damn it. What? You can't say shit like that. Can you give us a hint?
Yeah. So, but
like a little
through that, I've had the chance to get to know Bonds quite a bit. And
I love that he skips right over that.
I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited. Well, and so remember that idea that I told you I was going to tell you live that I haven't told you yet? Okay, here it is. What's cool about the way that our planet has set up their tokenomics with the voting is it's a non-loss vote. It's a lockup, right? And so you can take your tokens, and I think
for a month, which I love. Like that's
right?
like
it's good. And I think I have, of the voting, I'm about 95% of that right now. So I've done my part for sure. But you can put your tokens in and you still have them and they don't go away. And for me, it's an amazing savings plan because then I don't spend them because I like to spend whatever crypto I have liquid. But there's this huge amount sitting in the Uplift World wallet that could be benefiting the community. And it's not. It's just sitting there. And so, while we are thinking of how else it could benefit the community, what if, instead of parked in the one wallet, we parked it in the other one, give some benefit to the
I think
Uplift
that,
World
again,
community.
so there's
makes
two
sense.
big piles for us anyway. Not 60 billion fucking back after, holy shit. But there's two big piles of income, right? One that the company took in as revenue, right?
Yeah, it was income, yeah.
Was income. We didn't spend any of it. One that went over to the rewards pool. Again, you can go to the uplift.xp wax account and go see it there. Now, the stuff for the company, clearly, I think like it's a bit of a no-brainer. We would obviously, put it for the Uplift World account. Right now it's only benefiting Uplift World 2, right? It'd be really interesting if we could benefit, Uplift World 1, or I gotta talk to Bonds to see if we can like combine them or whatever. Or we can do burn upgrades and shit too. We can figure that part out. But on the reward pool stuff, like I think go ahead.
So here's the idea. So there's another group of people.
Your excitement is
Dude,
obnoxious.
this
and
is
perfect.
this is hopefully
I
gonna
love
this is like hopefully gonna get people excited. So there's another group of people who have also been saying, "What about me? I want some benefit. I want some rewards." And it's the people that have uplifted their Our Planet land, right? So remember that little cool degen art thing that you dropped to all the people that had the thing, and you're like, "Oh, what are we gonna do with this later?" What if we did something like that to all of our Planet land uplift people who upgraded their lands, and each one of them had a little OG degen NFT in their wallet that could be stakeable. And with the Uplift World 2 collection, you can add schemas and you can add NFTs. And what if we had a reward NFT that went out to everybody that uplifted their land? We add that schema to the Uplift World 2 collection, and they could have a free miner as a thank you for having uplifted their Our Planet land. It doesn't hurt our tokenomics on Upliftium. It really just utilizes the value of the Aether that's already going to that collection. It's going to incentivize people to help vote for that collection, which if we vote ourselves up, like, it can double the amount. So we're not really taking anything away from the people that are already in there.
Right.
Me, big percentage holder.
Yep. Yeah. On the
it's-
uplift, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
legit, probably 90% of the uplift world right now. For Our Planet staking, just so everybody's aware. And that, cause it's funny, like, people thought that we, used our company stuff right off the bat. And by people, there was like
just me.
2 people. Yeah. Bullshipples is a real person. That's him right there. And he used his personal shit, and so did I. And like, I used what I thought was a ton, and it was a tiny fraction of what Bullshipples put in.
We literally, so we're on the
super
phone, right? And I'm like, "Okay, Corey, hold my beer."
Yeah,
Because
legit.
he's talking in M's and I'm talking in B's, and I'm like, "Come on, let's go."
Yeah.
LFG, baby.
Yeah. That happened. No, I like that idea, and it, like, again, like, how many levers we can pull ecosystem wide. It just keeps expanding, right? Like, how do we figure out
Right.
where to bring value? Again, to your point, like, I like that framing. Whereas I have been in the recent past not super fantastic at dealing with that kind of, like, really noxious attitude FUD kind of stuff. It is true, though, that it's an expression of potential value, and so being able to think about it in that way is obviously really useful.
Well, and the loud ones, I'll say it this way: maybe the loud ones aren't the ones we want to hear it from, right? Because they don't always communicate the best way. But a lot of times, if you're able to get past the curse words and the threats against our families, if you're able to get down to like the base,
just slide right by
statement.
that. It's just look around
Yeah,
there.
if you're able to get down to the base, like, core feeling, because usually
Yeah.
that's emotional, and then the
Yeah,
ones who end up loud may not express them, which I have those days where I don't express myself real well. But if you can get down to that core desire, like that core desire to be benefited and have value provided to you, like, we all want that, right? And so if we can get down to the point of, well, how do we provide the value that they want? And, thankfully, it may be just a couple voices that are the ones we don't want to hear. The reality of it is, by doing this, we can benefit the 95% of the community that's quieter, but are going to be super friggin' happy if we can, take these values that exist. And this is one of those calculator moments where I'm looking at something going, holy crap, like, we can do this, and it's
Yeah,
hugely
why wouldn't you
good
do
and big, and it doesn't,
Yep.
like, let's do it. Like, so that's
Yeah.
where I'm at. And
No,
can we
that
vote
makes sense.
today,
And
or
like
how do we set that
having,
up?
yeah, right. Well, and having the power to do that, I think it's going to be, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Just to be able to go from idea stage to getting shit done stage in minutes. Oh no!
Being able to listen to the
Anyways.
community, respond with what they want, and then just
Yeah.
make it happen. Like,
So what do you?
that.
And I think we need to vote
process,
on this. Yeah, it's going to be good. I think we it probably makes sense to vote on this because some people want, like, people were mentioning that, like, Our Planet had sent out some articles about the fact that we were going to have Aether rewards for all the land, and that was an idea we were tossing around with along with everything else a year ago, right? And so it's all in the rewards pool still, and that's still something that we could do. I just feel like it'd be so much more fun to do even a Discord vote. Like, what projects do you guys want to have us support? And do a proportional vote. Like, the top 21 vote getters get a proportional amount of all of our voting power, so that we can benefit all the communities and everybody that we want. and do that forever, frankly, right? Like that, we could use that as a resource to basically benefit all the communities that are attached to us. Because like, that's the thing about the uplift, like all the communities are in us. Like that's the point, right?
Well, and I personally really, the only thing I don't like about your idea, Bullshipples, is I never uplifted my land, but I think it's a great idea for the people who did, right? Like because that gives, a status of something that like few people in comparison to the majority of the uplift world did, right? Like there's all of these servers with all of these lands and all of these rails, and there's a small fraction that have actually went through that process to uplift it, and those are the 2 servers that people have done it on. And I think rewarding those people proportionally as best we can is an amazing idea, right?
Well, it's funny to me that I'm lifting my hand with 3 of us in the room, but so Corey, to your point, and then Jimmy, to yours. Corey, did you notice that my idea directly addresses the people who say and think that, hey, this big pile of Aether that's sitting there should personally benefit me? With my idea, it can and it would and it will without actually reducing the supply of the Aether that's sitting there.
Right.
Yeah, I love it.
Right? All of a sudden we can benefit the people who are literally asking us to use that to benefit them without reducing what's there. It turns it into a legacy fund, right? Utilizing the system that our planet has set up. I mean, why wouldn't we let our planet pay the people who are asking for something rather than us? So anyways, there's that part of it. And then when it comes to the people that haven't yet uplifted their land, what if you knew that you were going to get an NFT that's a miner that's going to earn you something? And so all of a sudden there's ROI on uplifting your land, like where you literally can see the Aether returned and calculate the ROI on it. All of a sudden, all of the Jimmys that may have forgotten so far, maybe all of a sudden they want to uplift their land, and it creates additional incentive for that. So
again, nothing has been decided yet, so don't come back in a month and say you said you were going to do this. No, we're just having a casual conversation amongst friends. But is there any reason to do it now? Well, I mean, you get free land in the uplift world in Borvel as Swanland if you uplift our land.
Yeah, and it's cheap as balls,
right?
When it comes right down to it.
Yeah.
So that's a whole thing right now.
And I mean, yeah.
And honestly, like, don't be surprised if it doesn't last forever.
Exactly. It could end sometime, and those people who had it are going to be happier than the people who didn't. Right.
You want to hear the best part? If this happened, and if this created a positive feedback loop where people uplifting their land ended up putting more into the rewards pool, that then raised the rewards on the collection that's benefiting the people who are uplifting their land, that positive feedback loop, that's not a bad thing.
I mean, they're doing a whole other map of land. Like, I don't see any particular reason why we wouldn't do it again. We would have to set the Aether price that's a little bit more reflective of land prices in the uplift. But yeah, no, this is the thing. Like, we're gonna be able to do all the things.
So exciting.
I think thanks for
letting me rant.
Are we gonna like kill the chop forever and like that's our new ending? Here's the thing: we're just gonna be able to do all the things.
Nailed it. Actually, I still had a land that I hadn't upgraded yet, so I just figured that out. Just did that.
Well, and so Corey, can I throw another idea at you? This is live, and I could have talked about this offline, but
no,
can I come hang out with you guys like on the reg? I would love to just come hang out with you guys more often. So
yeah, dude, let's make it a weekly. Like, I definitely don't hang out with you enough, so.
And from March 13th, when your guys' clocks go back, I could probably push it back an hour later, one day a week, and we could get you up
do like
an
10
hour later. Yeah, we could do it
7
at 10 just for
Western.
Bullshipples, maybe. Do that.
You guys are worth waking up for.
All right, well.
Someone up.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said you're not worth going to bed for, but it was a completely different context, and I'm not really sure if I want to picture you in the same thing that person was wearing.
That got weird fast.
This got deeply awkward fast. Yep, 100%.
Good times.
Indeed.
I mean, I do have a heart on my mug.
Right. It's a nice heart. It's a very nice heart. So yeah, I mean, if you haven't checked it out, definitely go check out BluDAC, the IO, and check out the adaption by Bad Gifter. I'm hoping we'll have him because I've actually never met him, which I'm a little bit sad about. But hopefully we'll have him on the show sometime soon. Yeah, I mean, also we need to. Well, we need to get a post up on the official article site about what's going on inside of Shippletopia. We don't have one of those, but if you could give us a quick rundown just before we let you go. What is Shippletopia? You guys do stuff there every week. I guess the best place to get pinned in is your next show, which happens about an hour from now, I believe, with Jen. But like for people who might not tune into that, what's going on with Shippletopia? Give us an update.
So one of the highlights, especially these last 3 months, one of the highlights really of my life is spending time in Shippletopia, hosting events with Jen and Russ. Russ is our primary builder. They're in Shippletopia, and I've been in Shippletopia quite a bit. It's a place I've spent a lot of time and helped build and all that. And there's still things that I see every time I'm in there where I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was here. When did that happen? And so there's a lot there just to explore and see. But the social side of it is really what we're focused on. And Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, we have a race, and it's Mario Kart style, and there's 8 tracks that wind their way around Shippletopia. And we started with snowballs, throwing snowballs at each other. And what we just realized here within the last couple of weeks that we can actually shoot each other's carts out from under ourselves with bows and arrows. And so the last couple of weeks we've armed everyone with bows and arrows. And so if you can, it's turned into a death race where if you can hit somebody while they're falling and hit the cart out from under them, they splat on the track to their death, which is just hilarious. But for the most part, when there's lots of jumps and falling and tracks, and as long as you're in your cart and you land on the track, you keep going. And we all take extra snowballs and extra bows and arrows and extra carts, because it's become very cutthroat. But it's that Mario Kart feel, right? Where we do it live in the Discord, where you can have your screen, you can be watching someone else's screen. And it takes me right back to my childhood where we're, Mario Kart on the same TV, and we're all saying, don't look at my screen, don't look at my screen. And so we're back to our childhood and we're playing games, right? So 10 p.m. Eastern, we have the race on Wednesdays, and then 10 p.m. Eastern on Fridays, we have the Rave Cave. And we've been doing NFT DJ, where we literally come in and we play and stream NFTs, full music length NFTs that we own, and that's what we're using to DJ. And so all the music that's playing in the Rave Cave is literally NFTs that you can go and purchase on Atomic Hub, and we usually link them in the channel. And so that NFT DJ idea, where you can be in the metaverse, experiencing NFTs in the metaverse, and then what you're experiencing is visibility and promotion for the artist and the musician, and you can literally go in and click, I want that, you can have it. Being able to buy the DJ's set is kind of a cool idea. So we've been experimenting with that, but that's really what we're focused on at this point. We do the Shipple show. Actually, in about 2 hours, I'll be on the channel again. But the Shipple show every Wednesday, noon Eastern, is where we do kind of a weekly update on what's happening. This week, we're going to be actually live in Shippletopia, building something special and new, because that's one of the things that we've been doing to try to keep it fresh and live is to have surprises. Surprises that we're adding to these events, but while we're waiting on the paperwork for the Shipple charity, which is important, that entity needs to exist really before a lot more, sales or, money in outflow happens. The entity needs to exist. The Shipple Gives public charity needs to be completed so that the money flow in, flow out functions the way it's supposed to. And so until that completes, we're really focused on the social part. So please join us. Come join us in Discord. We post the links in our Shipple.io Telegram channel, but we'd love to have you join the party. And again, it's been really the highlight of my life here over the last 3 months, getting to just party in the metaverse with Jen and Russ.
That's awesome, man. Hey, Austin Linney just booked a meeting for me at 10 with something. He doesn't usually do that, so I need to run.
Love that guy.
But Bullshipples, thank you for coming on. Yeah, like seriously, like I would love to have you on every week. So as long as Jimmy's cool with that, and I think he probably is, then let's just make it happen. All right. You guys can keep chatting if you want. I gotta run. Ciao.
Well, we'll probably pick it up tomorrow with Cowie. So drop in for an uplift update, and thanks for joining us, Martin. Let's I don't know, do an arrow chop.